One of our unsung heroes of the last 10 years of war have been our chaplains, as they've kind of been first responders as our troops have gone through the issues of a war, suffering and dying. But also it's been kind of interesting during my term in the last, especially the last 6 years serving as a deputy and then the Chief of Chaplains for the U.S. Army, to see almost exponentially the rise of religious issues that needed to be addressed. One of the burning questions that maybe those who wear the uniform would ask a chaplain is, what can I do while I'm in uniform? Do I have to leave my faith and my religious beliefs and practices outside the gates of a garrison or a base while I come in, or can I continue to be true to myself holistically and expressing myself not only professionally as an officer, but also that part of the package of being a representative in uniform, that I can continue to practice my faith holistically. There are some challenges to religious expression, not only among our troops, but let's say just among our chaplains as well. And what we try to emphasize to the endorsing agents who send us chaplains is that coming into the military is a tremendous opportunity to share your faith, to live your faith, to minister to those in uniform who go and fight in America's battles and secure our freedoms, even the freedom of religion. We have survived some of these challenges over the years, but it seems that the ante is up a little bit, and probably there's always someone who even looks at the constitutionality of a uniformed clergy. I would imagine that there are some folks who say that the stakes are so high now, chaplains are so tunnel vision and myopic on their approach that maybe there would be this would be the time not to even have a uniformed clergy. Or in some cases, some nations, which I won't mention, who either don't have chaplains, but they have maybe social worker type experiences, and religion is sort of put to the side. I think that there's a challenge, a debate on the importance and the presence of religion within the context of military discussion. If I were in charge of the world, I would require every chaplain to take at least a semester in constitutional law, simply so that they clearly understand First Amendment, the freedom of expression, the freedom of exercise of religion for not only themselves but the troops that they serve, and also the non-establishment of religion. I think it requires our chaplains and those in uniform to clearly understand First Amendment in regards to the areas of religion. The chaplain has, over the last 10 years, been an agent of hope as we faced some pretty tough battles in Southwest Asia. As our troops have come home questioning all sorts of things as far as what did we just do in these multiple deployments, as our buddies have bled and died. As we've come home, I've lost my family, I've lost a lot of things. War always changes our veterans. Our chaplains serve and provide a message of hope and encouragement that we are not in this world without hope and without God, but perhaps now more than ever, our chaplains need to be giving that message. Our chaplains, obviously, especially our Christian chaplains, bring a message of not only just hope in general, to be optimists, but that we have found hope in Christ Jesus. I've found that our troops have been very receptive to the gospel as our chapel services in combat have been, every time I've visited, and I've visited every year except 2012 since 9/11, I have seen the chapel services flourishing and full, Bible studies, a desire and a desire to know and to be intimate and to walk with God. My prayer for the churches is, as our troops come back home, that as our troops have experienced the relevancy, the reality, and they've had a renewal of their own faith in God and Christ, that they can continue that as they come back home to our churches here in the States. Our chaplains have always had a prophetic role, and probably the balance of that prophetic role, you really have to lean on the Lord as far as how to speak the truth to a situation and to speak that in love, and there's a timing about it as well. Chaplains volunteer to serve the needs of our military services, and I thank God again for our nation. Since George Washington recognized the need for a chaplaincy as we stood up the Continental Army in 1775, that chaplains needed to be a part. I am concerned that there are some at the strategic level that do not see that moral and ethical decisions have an impact, second and third order effects on the heart and soul of our troops. And only time will tell. I believe the ethical and moral teachings, foundations, first of all, that our troops come into the military with, as well as the reinforcement by our chaplains, is what keeps our troops from being barbaric in their practices of war that causes them not to lose their humanity as they are detaining or facing an enemy that perhaps may have no moral or ethical bearing or have no regard for human life.